Hello and welcome to my vintage audiophile channel. This is now my 60th video, and today here in front of you you'll see a monster receiver that was put out by JCPenney with their MCS line of components. This receiver came out in about 1982 and was around till 84. Not many people bought it, so it's kind of rare these days. It was in an era where people started putting more emphasis on spendthrifty stuff than as opposed to big monster receivers, and all of the various lines of companies were dealing with the same thing. They put out this one, like I say, and it didn't sell very well, so it's pretty rare today. And it is a 3285, which in MCS terms, the last two numbers of the receiver tells you how many wattage it is. So this is an 85 watt per channel. That is able to go up to about 100 watts per channel under ideal loads. And it is the second biggest receiver that JCPenney ever made. Their biggest being a 3125, which was 125 watts a channel, able to go up to a theoretical 200 watts per channel. And that one I have also kind of buried in some of my stuff right now, but one of these days I'll dig it out and show you it. This one here, like I say, is almost 40 years old and it still works pretty darn good. First thing you'll notice is lack of any knobs or sliders. It is all push button on this particular model, and there's a lot of it to go around. As you can see, up here you've got your power and your inputs as an FM, AM, phono, auxiliary, tape 1 and tape 2. Then you can also preset channels in here because it is a digital. And you got channels 1 through 8, your tuning up and down, your volume, your balance, and your treble and your bass. Then you've got all the stuff over here, which is your main and remote speakers. It can accept up to 2 sets of speakers. And you got your subsonic filter, a high filter, mute, FM mute button, and a wideband button for FM. Down here you have your mute button to mute the sound if you need to. And it's got separate buttons here for moving magnet or moving coil for the phono. And then you got a dubbing here of tape 1 to tape 2 or tape 2 to tape 1. You've got a stereo button, which is kind of unusual for this era. It will turn either to stereo or mono when you push it for any function that you do on here, which was standard back in the 60s and 70s, but as the 80s came along, that feature kind of disappeared, but this one has it on it. You got a power display that you can push to make your power output look more impressive than it is at whatever you're doing. And up here, that was the MPX button. Over here you've got your acoustic memory. There's a thing in here where you can program 2 different memory positions for how you want your bass and treble to be remembered, and a defeat button that'll defeat whatever memory you're using of A or B. Up here you've got your preset entry, and there's a button here that you can push for preset 9 through 16, so you can actually get 16 presets out of this. A preset scan and an auto scan for tuner. Over here you've got your window that shows your bass and treble levels, your volume levels, your output scale that'll bump along with the music, signal strength along with FM stereo and quartz lock feature, and then your frequency readout. I will turn this on right now, and you will see how it looks when it's lit up. And I forgot to mention that there is also a phono jack on the front, which is pretty standard on most stereos. And turning on the power, right away you will see that you've got power.
This is the real deal. You give a call to 707-356-9929 and it goes directly to our studio. Let us know what you
This
want to hear.
tuner is very sensitive, and it has one of the best tuners I've ever heard. And I can get stations on here that are literally 60-70 miles away, and they come in where I can't even get them on any other receiver I own. But you can, as you can see, it brings in lots of stations. This one here is from about 60 miles away, and it five bars and stereo. So it is very powerful and very good reception, and it's getting it all with just a standard dipole.
Penalties that Dallas take their stick falls, and this is a terrible penalty.
So you can see how that works. I've got it in stereo right now. I've got the FM mute on, subsonic on, main speakers on, and then that moving magnet for the phono. And then you got your volume level, your actual volume. And now I'm going to turn it over to a phono here and let you see how that is going. Just bear with me a second here. And I'm using my Heyday wireless turntable hooked up with standard RCA non-wireless inputs.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just got off working in another loud smoke-filled bar. Sitting in my hotel room, wishing I'd be home soon.
This is a extremely well built, well made, great sounding receiver. It's got a real nice, warm, rich feel to it. It's not raspy or too bassy. It does not have a bass boost button on it, which some people kind of poo-poo, but I don't mind one bit because it's got plenty enough bass for me, and I enjoy it a lot. I've had it kind of in storage for a while, but I decided to take it out, inspired by the 3265 that I did a video on a couple months back, and that kind of sparked my interest again in getting this out and listening to it. Like I say, I'll get the 3125 out one of these days, but for right now I got too many other things to do, too many other videos that are to make that of stuff that I have more better access to. If you don't mind, I'm going to pause this video right now, and the next thing I show you is going to be a picture of the receiver with the cover off, because it's very impressive inside too. It's definitely not super crowded like some of the receivers are. but if you've got it made right and everything works right, you don't need to have a lot of stuff in there to make it look impressive. All you need to do is have the right components in there to make it impressive. So if you bear with me while I get that ready, I will be back in a moment. Thank you. So here I'm back. As you can see, I have the cover off of this monster machine. And the first thing you'll notice is there's a lot of wires and cables going through everything. A bar here for strength, because this thing does weigh at least a good 40 pounds. This here over here is mainly the tuner radio section. It does have 2 heat sinks in it and 4 8200 picofarad capacitors for the giant toroidal transformer that's in there. In fact, this one has, if you count them all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transformers in this, powering up this machine. Each stage of the process has its own power supply, which is something that you don't see hardly at all. That's what gives its clean, sweet power. And as you can see, there's lots of different boards in here, but they're all very well thoughtfully laid out so that it doesn't look really all that cluttered like some of them can be. This is, in fact, the only receiver that MCS ever commissioned that had a toroidal transformer in it. None of the other ones did. And there was a dispute with another company about toroidal receiver transformers, and they managed to get one in here. And there's not many brands that were able to use them because some other company had a patent on them. So some of them were able to sneak it in there, but then they were told to cease and desist, and they never were able to use them in any other of their stuff. And toroidal transformers are known for putting out massive clean power that with low hum and distortion that really cleans up the signals when it comes time for the output. This particular receiver, I believe, is rated at 0.25% total harmonic distortion, and some of the other specs on it, like I said, were the 85 watts per channel. It is just basically a great all-around receiver. Those who have them never want to part with them, and if you ever happen to find one, you'll probably want to get one sooner than later, because the prices keep going up on these things. Right now, one in really good shape probably going to cost you about $500, and but they're worth it. There are other people that say that their MCS 3285 sounds better than anything that was out in that particular era, no matter which company it was. And these particular monster receivers that have this type of style were all made by NEC from Japan and Taiwan, and they are a company that made their own proprietary components for other stereo makers. But then towards the late 70s, early 80s, they started making their own stereo stuff. And the one reason you can see that this is a made by NEC is that their own model looks exactly like this under their own brand name. So it's pretty conclusive that it was made by NEC. although some people might say it was made by Techniques or some other company. The jury is not 100% out on that right now, but general consensus is it was made by NEC. So, like I say, if you happen to find one of these floating around somewhere, don't hesitate to buy it. Even their 62, 35, 30, they have a 27, 65, and a 37, if I remember right, that all look similar to this, and they're all good. They're all made by NEC. So that is the conclusion of this video today. Hope you enjoyed it. This is probably the first one I've made where I've had the cover off. I've had some people ask me why I don't do that, and just never had an inkling to do it, but I figured this one here is pretty special, so why not? So until next time, please enjoy this video, please like it, and if you do like it, please subscribe to my channel or leave comments and questions that you may have. I answer everything that's sent my way. And until next time, when I do my 61st video, have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.